Picture this. You wake up, and your world is exactly how you want it. No chasing, no begging, just a calm, unshakable confidence that makes others gravitate toward you. People admire you, they dream about you, fear losing you, and feel lucky just to be near you. And the best part? You're not trying. You're not bending over backward to impress anyone. They are the ones chasing you, hooked, wondering what you're thinking, desperate to be a part of your life. When you walk into a room, heads turn. Your presence commands attention without effort. Conversations flow like magic. There's an undeniable chemistry around you, a pull they can't resist. You've become the person they can't stop thinking about, the one they dream of, the one they fear slipping through their fingers. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. This life is real. But here's the kicker. It's only possible when you stop trying to make people like you. That's right. The harder you try, the more invisible you become. If you're chasing, pleading, or sacrificing your dignity to stay on someone's radar, you've already lost. They'll never miss what they feel they own. And right now, you're handing yourself to them on a silver platter. Let's pause for a moment and be brutally honest. Where are you right now? Are you sitting around, obsessively checking your phone, waiting for a reply that never comes? Are you twisting yourself into someone else's idea of perfect, thinking that if you're kind, patient, and always available, they'll finally realize your worth? You've told yourself that if you just try harder, give more love, more sacrifice, they'll start craving you, right? Wrong. They won't. In fact, every time you lower your standards, sacrifice your boundaries, or give too much of yourself, you become less valuable in their eyes. That's not how attraction works. People don't value what they get for free. And right now, they're not thinking about you. Not even a little bit. You're not on their mind because you've given them everything without asking for anything in return. And that's why they've taken you for granted. It's time to wake up. You've been living in a fantasy where you believe that effort equals love. But the truth is, love and respect come when you make them earn a place in your life. Want to flip the script? Make them miss you? Make them fear losing you? Then stop giving yourself away so easily. You need to shift the focus back to yourself. Stop begging for attention and start reclaiming your energy. The secret lies in an ancient philosophy that's more relevant now than ever: Stoicism. Legends like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus mastered the art of detachment, and that's exactly what you need to do right now. Here's the truth. The moment you stop chasing is the moment they start noticing. When you stop needing them, they start needing you. When you pull back, they feel the space, and that space makes them realize how much they took you for granted. It's human nature to want what feels scarce and valuable, not what's always available. Let me say it loud and clear. Begging is beneath you. Chasing is beneath you. You're not here to prove your worth to anyone. You already matter. The only person who needs to believe that is you. Ask yourself this: how many more times will you let yourself shrink just to fit into someone else's life? How long will you keep begging for scraps of attention when you could be commanding the whole feast? It's time to break the cycle. You don't need to explain yourself, beg for validation, or prove your value. Your worth is not tied to someone else's recognition, and the sooner you realize that, the faster you'll start living the life you deserve. A life where you are chased, admired, and valued. From this moment forward, things are going to change. Say it out loud. I will no longer beg for attention. Write it down. Type it in the comments. Let it sink into your soul. You're done playing small. You're done bending your life to fit someone else's story. From now on, they're going to have to chase you. This is your turning point. You're not the sidekick. You're the main character. You're the one who gets to decide who stays in your life and who doesn't. The people who don't see your value, let them go. If they don't appreciate you now, they never will. And that's okay, because you're not here to be everyone's favorite. You're here to be respected. Here's what happens next. You stop reaching out first. You stop checking in. You stop making yourself available at the drop of a hat. You don't need to announce it, explain it, or justify it. You just do it. Slowly they'll start to notice. They'll wonder why you've changed. They'll feel the void your absence creates, and that's when they'll start chasing, because they'll finally realize they don't own you. This isn't about playing games. This is about shifting the power back into your hands. Detach, pull your energy back, focus on yourself, your growth, your goals, your happiness. You don't need to punish anyone or act cold. Just stop handing over your power. This is what the Stoics understood. Peace, happiness, and self-worth come from within. Nothing external, no person, no relationship should define who you are. The only approval you need is your own. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." So stop reacting to them. If they ignore you, fine. You're too busy living your life to care. If they pull away, let them. You won't chase. When you stop giving them your energy, you take back control of your story, and that's when everything changes. When they see that you're no longer dependent on their attention, they'll start craving yours. They'll wonder what's different, why you're not as available, and they'll begin to miss what they took for granted. But here's the key. You're not doing this to make them miss you. You're doing this for you. You're reclaiming your time, your energy, and your self-respect. This is your moment. Say it again. You have to see my worth. Not because you need them to, but because you're declaring it to the world, and most importantly, to yourself. It's time to let go of the people who don't see your value. It's time to stop waiting for someone to recognize your worth. You're done shrinking. You're done begging. You are valuable just as you are, and anyone who doesn't see that isn't worth your time. This is your life. You decide the rules, and from now on, you live by one simple truth. If they want to stay in your world, they'll have to earn it. No more chasing, no more begging, just living fully and unapologetically as the person you were always meant to be. So, hit the like button under this video, and if you're with me, type it in the comments. I see my worth. Let it be known that from this moment forward, you are done waiting for approval. You are done seeking validation. This is your life, your story, and you are the one in control. Number 1, the power of Stoic detachment. I get it. Detaching isn't easy. You're emotionally invested. You've poured your heart into this, and the thought of pulling back feels terrifying. It feels like you're walking away from something you've put so much energy into. But here's what you need to understand. Detachment isn't about abandoning the relationship or pretending you don't care. It's about creating boundaries, reclaiming your emotional space, and stopping the cycle of sacrificing yourself for someone else. You've been giving so much of your energy, constantly reacting to their actions, letting them dictate how you feel. It's time to stop that. From now on, don't react when they do something that would normally get under your skin. Stop giving them that emotional reaction they're used to. It doesn't mean you're cold or uncaring. It means you're protecting your peace. You're no longer letting their actions have power over you. You're in control now. The moment you stop reacting to them, they'll feel it. They'll notice the change. It won't make sense to them at first, but that's part of the shift. You're reclaiming your space, your calm, your strength. Next, redirect your energy. All that attention you've been pouring into them, pour it into yourself. You've been so focused on making them happy, on making them notice you, that you've forgotten to nurture your own growth. Pick up a new hobby, dive into your career, work on your personal development. The more you invest in yourself, the less you'll feel the need for their validation. And guess what? They'll see it. They'll notice that you're no longer orbiting around them, and that's when they start to question their place in your life. You also need to pull back a little. I'm not telling you to ghost them or cut them off completely, but stop being so readily available. Stop being the one to always reach out first, to always make the plans, to always check in. Let them feel what life is like without you constantly in it. They won't feel your absence until you create some space for it. When you stop making yourself so accessible, that's when they begin to wonder, begin to miss what they had without realizing it. Imagine this. You're always the one texting first, always the one putting in the effort, always making plans. It's clear they don't appreciate it. So what do? You decide to detach. You stop texting all the time. You stop bending over backward to keep things going. Instead, you focus on yourself, on your own growth and happiness, and suddenly they notice. They start asking why you're not as available, why you're not so eager. They begin to miss the attention, the validation, the effort that you were giving without them even having to ask for it. This is the power of Stoic detachment. Here's the truth. They won't miss you while you're still chasing them, but the moment you step back, the moment you reclaim your energy and stop needing their approval, that's when they'll feel the shift. When you stop needing them, they start needing you. This isn't about pushing them away, it's about pulling yourself back. It's about creating space for them to realize what they're losing. And trust me, when they feel that absence, when they feel that space, they'll start to wonder, they'll start to miss you. Now, I won't lie to you. It's going to feel uncomfortable at first. It'll feel like you're walking away from something you've invested a lot of time and emotion into. Your mind will try to convince you that if you pull back, you'll lose them. But here's the truth. If they drift away just because you stopped chasing, then they were never really yours to begin with. But if they start to notice, if they start to crave your presence, that's when you know the dynamic has shifted in your favor. Here's the key. This isn't about them. It's not about manipulating them into wanting you. It's about you. It's about taking back your power and realizing that your worth doesn't depend on anyone else's attention or validation. This is your story, and you are in control. You get to decide how you're treated, how you're valued. Detachment is not a game. It's a reclamation of your dignity and peace. Think of it this way. When you constantly throw your energy at someone, they feel overwhelmed and they pull away. But when you pull back, when you create that space, something magical happens. They're drawn to you, not because you're trying to be magnetic, but because you've reclaimed your power. They feel the shift in energy, and they can't help but notice. It's like a magnet. The less you push, the more they're pulled toward you. So embrace this process of detachment. Stop living for their approval. Stop begging for their attention. You have nothing to prove to them. You are already whole, already valuable, and it's time they see that. But here's the thing. You're not doing this so they'll miss you. You're doing this because you deserve better. You deserve to be valued without having to fight for it. You deserve to be chased, not the other way around. This is just the first step in your transformation, the beginning of you reclaiming your life, and it all starts with you. It starts with knowing your worth, owning your power, and detaching from the need for anyone else to validate you. This journey isn't over yet. There's more to come, more to learn, but this is where it begins. Stop waiting for someone else to realize your value and start showing them you don't need their approval to thrive. If you're with me in this transformation, let it be known. Drop "I know my worth" in the comments. This is your declaration, not to them, but to yourself, that from this moment forward, you're done chasing, done begging, and done waiting. You are stepping into your power, and anyone who wants to be part of your life will have to rise to meet you. The journey starts now, and it's only going up from here. They'll notice. Trust me, they will. Number 2, the secret weapon. Become rare, become irreplaceable. Here's the truth. What's always available never feels valuable. Think about it. If you had access to diamonds every day, everywhere you went, would they still feel special? Of course not. That's how value works. The rarer something is, the more we crave it. The harder it is to get, the more effort we'll put in to keep it. But right now, you've made yourself as common as a pebble, always available, always within reach. That's why they don't see you as a priority. And that's why it's time to change the game. The moment you realize this, everything shifts. You've been giving too much time, too much energy, too much of yourself, and they come to expect it. They assume you'll always be there, always ready, always trying. And guess what? The more they assume, the less they appreciate. They don't chase what's already theirs. That's human nature. If you want to become someone they crave, someone they fear losing, it starts by making yourself scarce. Scarcity is powerful. It flips the script. It makes you rare, like a gem they didn't realize was so valuable until it's suddenly out of reach. When you pull back and stop being constantly available, they'll feel it. It'll hit them like a cold wind, unexpected and uncomfortable. That's when the chase begins, because suddenly you're not just an option, you're the prize. And prizes aren't easy to get. This doesn't mean ghosting them or disappearing completely. It's not about games or manipulation. It's about resetting the dynamic and reminding them that your time and energy are not infinite resources. You're not there for convenience. You're not a background character in their life waiting to be noticed when they have nothing better to do. You are the main character in your own story, and only those who understand that will get to be part of it. When you become less available, two things happen. First, they'll notice. They'll start wondering why you're not as present as you used to be. They'll miss the constant flow of attention and care you were giving them without them even having to ask for it. And second, they'll begin to work harder to get it back, because now there's uncertainty. Now you're not always there when they expect you to be, and that space creates desire. You might think that pulling back will push them away, but it doesn't work that way. When you become scarce, you spark curiosity. You make them wonder what's changed. Why aren't you texting first? Why aren't you showing up like you used to? That mystery is powerful. It draws them in, because people crave what they don't fully understand. Here's where most people get it wrong. They think being available all the time shows love and loyalty. But in reality, it just makes you